people will avert their eyes from atrocity, right? And they'll certainly avert their eyes from the thought that they could participate in atrocity. And you could think of that as the heart of darkness. It isn't, because you could look at the fact that you could take glee in the commission of atrocity. And no one wants to look at that. Well, you start, and you have to look at that. You have to look at that in the final analysis. But one step at a time, and you can do that with any problem, literally any problem. Break it down, break it down, break it down.
Public speaking,
anything,
going to the gym. Yeah.
Anything. A small dose, a small dose. And it's so fun to do this with people. It's the same thing you do when you're encouraging your young child. And that's a primary source of gratification for human beings, is putting someone on the edge and encouraging them. And so you do that as a clinician. So I loved being a clinician because, people say, well, how can you, how do you tolerate listening to people's problems? Well, first of all, they're not your problems. You have to understand that. Because if they're your problems, you're stealing that person's problems from them. Because you could come to me, especially people who are, very unsophisticated. They can come and talk to somebody like a well-experienced clinician, someone whose breadth of knowledge exceeds theirs by a substantial margin. And that person can just give them advice. But then they go act out that advice, and then that's not them. They have to come to it themselves.